Early on, I remember Ryan had come to me and said, I'm thinking about using a different name, and I wanted him to go with Ryan. I just thought that, Ryan being a pretty popular TV last name, and you having the first name, Ryan would have been the...
Orion would have been nice.
Ryan
O'Ryan.
Yeah, there you go. Ryan O'Ryan, coming at you live.
Coming live. And I got to tell you also just some quick background on Ryan. Ryan, when I was fired from one of my radio jobs and decided I was going to launch a TV show, Ryan was in my living room and we're going over it, and I remember him saying, there is no way you're going to be able to pull this off. I mean, you're trying to, what are you thinking? And sure enough, for the first, 50 episodes, it was just horrible. But things did turn around.
You proved me wrong, though, Bill. You proved me wrong more than once.
And I lost all my hair during that time. So it was, yeah. All right, Ryan, listen. Sean Spicer yesterday coming out and saying the president's tweets now are official word from the White House, official policy, official statements from the White House. What's the thought there?
Yeah, well, Sean Spicer said that, despite the fact that two other aides yesterday said that you shouldn't take the president's words literally.
Right.
In fact, Kellyanne Conway was walking out to do a live shot with the Today Show yesterday morning, and our correspondent, Joe Johns, had asked her that morning what she thought about the president's tweets from that morning, and her exact words to Joe were, "Why are you guys so obsessed with tweets?"
Right.
And, I mean, it's just shocking that would be the response from a White House aide. It's not the press that's obsessed with tweets. It's the president that's obsessed with tweets. And he has, to a certain extent, shut himself down from the media, so there's literally no way for us to really get his gauge on how he feels about these enormously important issues that are surrounding him. And the only conduit we have to his thoughts are his tweets. So are they serious? Are they not serious? It's difficult to say, but I think you have to take a man at his word, and in this case, this is the president's words are his tweets, and I think they carry all the weight and value that any words that would come from a president. So, that's where I stand on it. If the president said it, even if he said it through a tweet,
right,
it's still important and it still matters in our discussion about these big issues.
And this is not new to just this president. Maybe the Twitter aspect is, but when a president speaks, people, not just here but around the world, listen. It's an pretty important job when you look at it.
President's words move markets and start wars. This isn't a phenomenon that started in 2017. It's been around for a very long time, and yet Donald Trump isn't a politician. But he's a business leader, and he's been very crafty throughout his entire career with the way he speaks. He's used it to his advantage. Being outrageous has been part of what's helped his business career, and a lot of it has been purposeful. So I think even in this case, I don't think that he's necessarily going off half-cocked on some of this stuff. I think he knows what he's doing. I spent, not to go too far on this, but I was in Iowa for 5 days last week, and I was just so interested in talking to people that are Republicans that still support Donald Trump, and I should say most of them still do.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if they feel they're in on the joke with him. We kind of view it as though he's maybe snowing this group of people, that he is taking advantage of them, but they almost feel like this is like a special language that he has that they understand, they know what to take seriously and what not to take seriously.
What name could we give that language? Maybe Kofifi or Kofefe?
Something like that. There you go.
Maybe when Spicer said, listen, a small group in the president's circle know exactly what that meant. And,
right.
None of you people are privileged to know. I don't know. Do you buy at what point, though, does something... Let me change this. That's basically, though, his base. These are the people that supported him, strongly supported him. What about those that voted, and they voted because it was more of an anti-Hillary vote than anything else, and they voted because they wanted change? What about those people? Did you talk to any of them?
Well, I talked to one guy in Iowa that's a Democrat. He's not a Trump supporter, but he's connected to a lot of Democrats. And, he concedes, Iowa's an example of a state that voted for Barack Obama twice and then voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And he talked about along the Mississippi River, where there's a lot of these industrial towns, similar to upstate New York in the Rust Belt, where the manufacturing industry has left a lot of these places behind, and Donald Trump really spoke to that group of people, and that's part of why he did really well in Iowa. And he said, for the most part, these people, even Democrats, are still waiting for him, and they're still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And, Russia dominating the conversation in Washington and in New York and some of the big cities around the world. But if you live in a small manufacturing town on the Mississippi River in Iowa, and you hear the president continue to say that he's going to bring back manufacturing jobs, and when he tells you something like, I've pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, and that's going to bring back manufacturing jobs, you're still holding on to that thread of hope. And that's why you're not seeing Republicans run away from the president in mass numbers yet. It's why there's a good chance that they're going to hold on to the House and maybe the Senate in 2018. And that's why there's still a reasonably good chance that he could be reelected despite all of these problems.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats have not yet provided an alternative beyond just saying that he's corrupt.
Right.
That takes you to a certain extent, but you've got to do more than that. You've got to provide a vision that people can buy into. Donald Trump provided that. The Democrats have yet to do it.
What's it going to mean for midterms, however?
Well, that's the question. You're going to have to go to individual districts to check this out. I still think there's a chance that the House is in danger, but when you look at the number of Senate seats that are up, there are far more Democratic seats that are in trouble than there are Republican seats. So, there would have to be some sort of tidal wave that crashed through that would allow the Democrats to take back over the Senate. And it would take a major, major turn for the House to turn. I'm not saying it can't happen, and obviously the way that this presidency works, you can't look too far ahead because so many things could happen. Tomorrow on Capitol Hill, James Comey could drop some sort of bombshell that really destroys everything.
Yeah.
But, at where we stand right now, I would not be writing the eulogy to the Donald Trump presidency yet. I think we still have a long way to go before we get to that point.
And on Comey, I want to ask you, I'm anticipating a bit of a letdown. I don't think it's going to be as big as everybody is anticipating. And so I want your thoughts on that. And then finally, the White House is planning to really attack Comey and his credibility. You think that's a good idea? This guy's pretty credible.
Yeah, on your first point, I don't see how it can meet the hype. It's going to be broadcast live on every single broadcast news channel and on all the cable news channels. So it'll be like a presidential address. You flip your TV and you're not going to be able to escape it. So I'm not sure how it could possibly reach that level of hype.
Yeah.
But secondly, I think that anybody in this environment's credibility is in danger. And you have to keep in mind that what Donald Trump has done so well is he doesn't need to get mass approval, or he doesn't need to change the minds of a mass amount of people. He just needs to change the minds of the right amount of people.
Right.
And even though James Comey is kind of universally considered to be a honest and credible person, he's not necessarily popular. People are not very happy with some of the decisions he made. So
on both
think
sides.
He's vulnerable there.
Yeah.
The question, though, is, the plan was to get this war room established in the White House where they were going to be able to kind of rapid fire these responses out, and they still can't do that.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get this done for 2 weeks.
And it seems like there are those that are apprehensive about joining in because they feel there's so much going on. They don't want to get into the hot water. Really interesting, Ryan. As always, great insight, and we appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Ryan Nobles back in Washington. Got a break here.